I saw Kenny, but I saw him on stage. He did the pre-race show, 9:30 to 11 in the morning. So we got some good video of that we posted on the YouTube channel. But overall, I just think it was a picture-perfect weekend for Curtis Francois, for the whole team at Worldwide Technology Raceway, because you get your first ever Cup race, but you're not guaranteed to always have that race. And to get a Cup race for years, they never changed the schedule. It was the same markets. A lot of these markets had multiple races. Now they've changed that recently, but for your inaugural race to be a sellout, perfect weather.
Yeah.
Everything I heard, and I went there twice yesterday. I went there in the morning, and then I came back right after the race. Now clearly, coming back a little bit after the race started, it's going to be easier to get in. But in the morning, 15 minutes to get in, which when you're trying to put 50,000, 60,000 people in, that can be a real headache for NASCAR tracks.
Yeah.
That can break you as a track if the fans can't get in and out, and they complain about that. So everything that I experienced and heard, it was great on that front. And then you have an exciting race, because a lot of NASCAR folks basically say too many of the tracks are the same. You have some of these mile-and-a-half tracks, super speedways, and the racing seems similar. This is a different track, different type of racing, so more short track-ish. It was very exciting, and it went to overtime. So you had the green-white checker finish, where I'm talking with Curtis Francois afterwards, and even though the day had already gone perfectly, he said, look, when you have a caution, you don't want anybody to get hurt. But when that happened, he said inside he started smiling, because that overtime scenario, 3 laps at the end.
Yeah, define overtime by the people.
Well, NASCAR overtime, if you have that late caution, they basically just say it's going to be 3 laps once you start. So it's a 3-lap sprint to the finish, and it's always very exciting. And so you had at the end there Kyle Busch in the lead, and he kind of got loose there. Joey Logano took the lead, and you just basically have a 3-lap exciting sprint. So it's super exciting. And to put that bow on the end of the weekend, I was looking at Curtis when we're sitting there in Victory Lane. Joey Logano's celebrating. They do the hat dance where they have to put on the hat for every single sponsor, right, and take the pictures.
Yeah.
But you could just see Curtis with his sunglasses on, smiling. And knowing that track could have been sold for scrap metal a decade plus ago, and he revived that track and worked his ass off, right, they have the open wheel race, the Bommarito Automotive Group 500. You've had the trucks, you've had Xfinity, but to get that Cup race is mammoth, and I think they hit an absolute home run. That's not just me being a hometown guy. It was a perfect day.
My neighbor went, and not necessarily a big race car fan, but he went, and he said the same thing. It was great. So my guess is it was a home run with the hardcore, but more importantly for St. Louis, for some folks getting their first taste, if it's a home run with them, now you got customers going forward. So that's a home run as well. So I'm really happy that it went well.
No big wrecks?
Well, you had some guys getting into each other. Kind of the storyline, besides Logano winning, was you had Ross Chastain, who was a little too aggressive, and he really ticked off Denny Hamlin and also Chase Elliott. So we got some sound from Denny Hamlin after the race, and he was very calm about it, but he basically said, you can't just run folks like that. And the way he said it was, in a way, I'm going to get my revenge, but I'm going to do it in a meaningful way on a meaningful day. So look, Ross Chastain apologized, but Denny Hamlin said, look, NASCAR polices itself. It's like hockey. If you run my guy, you're going to get run pretty soon.
You're going to get it.
We're going to police ourselves.
Yeah.
And Denny Hamlin basically said, today wasn't the day because I was running 8 laps behind after getting pushed in the wall. He basically said, Ross Chastain, next time your car's really fast, next time you're running up front, I'm going to wreck you and ruin your day when it actually matters to you.
So what did he do? Explain that when you say run.
He kind of bumped him and knocked Denny Hamlin into the wall and ruined Denny Hamlin's day, and Denny Hamlin never had a chance to win the race. He was just basically too aggressive.
I wonder how that feels. It's like getting hurt, and you're going 100 miles an hour, you're flying around, you got the puck all game, and all of a sudden somebody, Evander Kane hits you from behind, you go into the boards and break your hand. Like if you have a car that's running, screaming, and you're kicking ass, and all of a sudden somebody gets loose and hits you, and you total your car, like that's got to be such a setback, money, I don't know. I'd be losing my mind.
Think about this. Generally speaking, if it's like baseball and we're like, okay, this guy's going to remember it next year when the game is, 7-1. He's going to hit you in the shoulder and you're going to have a welt there. These guys are in cars that one wrong move and life is over.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's much more serious than that.
How was the party in the? How was the scene there? It was
awesome.
Wild girls cruising around. Like, give me something.
Everybody.
Yep.
So I was outside early watching that pre-race show.
Yeah.
And there was a sea of people. And I don't know if it was 1,000 people, but there was a lot of people. And so they had that pre-race show, and Kenny Wallace interviewed Kevin Harvick and his brother Rusty and his brother Mike, and Curtis was out there. So I think that was a big part of the whole weekend. And this was Worldwide's, their strategy all along. It's about the race, but it's about a 3-day weekend of entertainment. So that's part of also getting people in and out. They wanted people coming in as early as possible and staying as late as possible, which is why you had a Nelly concert Saturday night.
Yeah.
You had that Old Dominion concert Sunday night. You had a scavenger hunt on the track. So
Ooh.
Joey Logano is doing his Victory Lane celebration, his interviews, and all the fans are pouring onto the track because it's pretty cool for the fans to be able to walk the track.
Yeah, man.
And they get to find T-shirts. They were giving them prizes and all that. So I just think it was a really good entertainment weekend. And I'm not a huge country fan, but some of the names, Old Dominion, Cole Swindell, I feel like is a pretty big name.
I'm going to act like I know him, but
They had musical acts. Even Sunday before the race, they had Joey Logano doing interviews, Q&As, where the fans could watch that. They had Bubba Wallace doing the same thing. So it was like a whole weekend of just entertainment.
I heard Bubba Wallace took his car and said he's going to park at the east side for all the kids. People were like, is it still there? Because he had that awesome McDonald's car, and he went and he showed it off to all the inner city kids and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, he went to East St. Louis
Yeah.
and talked with some kids. I think that was Friday. And then so I was shooting the Bubba Wallace Q&A. And at the end, this NASCAR reporter named Monica, who was doing the Q&A, she did these rapid-fire questions. And she said, what's your favorite sport besides racing? And he said, college football.
Yeah.
And he offered this himself to the St. Louis fans. And he said, and by the way, Mizzou is not in the SEC. So he took a shot. Took a shot at Mizzou.
So he been like they shouldn't be in there because they're not good.
He's a guy born in Alabama, so I'm guessing he's either Bama or Auburn fan. And he just
Wow,
took
that was kind of a little bit of a show.
It was.
Why?
It was unprompted.
Why kick them when they're down?
SEC, man.
Right?
So my question, as I watched this unfold and was looking on social media that the thing was very well received, I wanted to know, did you have first let me say this. Kenny Wallace, I don't know anyone who is a better ambassador for St. Louis than Kenny Wallace. I saw some clips of what he was saying about the race, so I'm going to give Kenny Wallace a ring. That guy's awesome. That guy's like instant offense. I love him. But did you have like a VIP pass? Could you go anywhere?
Yeah.
Did you get delicious free food?
How was the food?
The media food was really good. Really good. Some chicken breasts, some brisket, a bunch of really good little sandwiches, those small
spicy.
sandwiches. Spicy.
What about for the fans, though? Did they have
Salad.
good options for food?
We're
the
worried
beer?
about Charlie first.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
So, besides being outside the track early, I was then inside the track for the rest of the race. So that inside track pass, I'm guessing, is a little more expensive. It's a little more VIP-ish. You got all the tents in there. You got these setups where you can get hamburgers, you can get pizza. First Form, they really sponsored the hell out of the whole deal. So they had a big tent where people are drinking and all that. Actually saw Jordan Hicks there.
Cruising
having
around.
a good time.
Yeah, man. Damn. I'm telling you, I'd like to go. I told you.
Grab a quick one-on-one, see how the forearm's doing. He's going to come back as a starter, reliever. What's it going to be?
I don't like bothering dudes, especially he's probably having a good time. Young dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing he
Cruising
had a good
You should
time.
go up and say hi.
I would.
I saw him from afar.
All right.
So-
Because I will say this, when a media guy, I'm not saying you want to be in a bar at 4 a.m. somewhere and you're going to go up and bother someone, but you're at an event. I think
I think that's fair.
I think like a Cardinal guy would go up and you say hi to him. I think he'd appreciate it, Charlie. Everyone
Yeah,
likes you.
look, man, I was working.
Do you have
so
fun
you were-
though? I mean, do you just work the whole? Can you have fun there?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Dude,
I don't know.
I had a hell of a time. I don't have to do live shots. I don't have to stay late.
Well, I just feel like I see people at like Blues games and stuff that are working. It's like, it just doesn't look like it's fun, you know? But if you're there and you're cruising around, you're talking to people, you're outside.
Let me tell you something. YouTube is very fun.